What's up, everybody? Day 5 in the hospital. Been a blessing. I needed it. Haven't done anything for 5 days. Feeling better. Broke the femur in my hip.
UFC fighters are sending desperate messages on social media. Recent tweets reveal a disturbing pattern. I'm broke, so I need to fight. Another reads, today I am staying on the street. If anyone can help, let me know. Let's start with what many people believe. Reaching the UFC means you've made it. Championship belts, sold-out arenas, pay-per-view bonuses. Surely these fighters are set for life, right? Wrong. Take Diego Sanchez, winner of the very first season of The Ultimate Fighter. At his peak, Sanchez was earning 6-figure fight purses, collecting Fight of the Night bonuses, and headlining major cards. He fought across 4 different weight divisions and earned Fight of the Year awards for legendary battles against Clay Guida, Gilbert Melendez, and BJ Penn.
For the winner by unanimous decision, Diego!
But here's what happened. Despite all that success, Sanchez ended up completely broke. How? Poor financial decisions, alcohol and drug addiction, and, most devastatingly, betrayal. One of his closest friends lured him into shady investments, including Ponzi schemes that wiped out his entire savings. Sanchez later admitted, I got sucked really deep into fame, the money, even the drugs and alcohol. One of my best friends totally did me dirty and wiped me out. The former UFC star was forced to withdraw to the mountains of New Mexico, bankrupt and broken, trying to rebuild from nothing.
Into round 1, and this is when they're swinging wild. Gilbert caught him with that right hand on the jaw, and that's the very end. Here's round 2, another wild exchange, and
Diego Sanchez isn't alone. But some stories are even more heartbreaking. Maria Agapova burst onto the UFC scene with an explosive debut, finishing her opponent in the first round and earning a performance bonus. Many believe she was destined for greatness in the flyweight division. Fast forward to 2024, the UFC released her after 4 consecutive losses. But losing her contract was just the beginning of her nightmare.
Power coming down,
Goodness.
not something you want to get hit with.
It's not. And you know, Sanchez is doing really great jiu-jitsu things on the ground, looking for that sweep, opening up her legs and looking for the arm bars, which she really needs to start incorporating get-up attempts or get up, at least feints at getting to her feet so she can switch positioning.
Agapova so long inside this guard, she's able to throw elbows in a way that other fighters just aren't able to. Sanchez hurt.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow.
Short on time, Agapova trying to finish here.
Wow, TJ. Whoa.
I don't know if that was the bell or if that was the end of the round.
It looked like the ref called
That's it. It is done.
Before her final UFC fight, Agapova revealed she was on the verge of homelessness. She couldn't afford rent, had no steady income, and was actively looking for homeless shelters. In a heartbreaking Instagram post, she wrote, "Today I am staying on the street. If anyone can help, let me know." She explained that her last fight barely paid anything, leaving her completely broke. The situation became so desperate that she revealed people had tried to exploit her vulnerability, even attempting to traffic her into adult slavery without her knowledge.
Hart turning up the temperature. Big right hand. Big shots. Clean right hand. Left hand. Another right hand from Britton Hart. Hart trying to finish in the 5th and final round.
Then there's Duda Santana, known as Cowboy Zena. She fought her way out of one of Rio de Janeiro's most notorious favelas to reach the UFC in 2019 with an undefeated record. It was a dream come true, a way out of poverty through combat sports. But after losing her debut and testing positive for banned substances, the UFC released her. When the pandemic hit, canceling fights and cutting off income, her life spiraled out of control. Santana became homeless, fell into drug addiction, and turned to prostitution just to afford cigarettes. In a disturbing interview, she said, "It starts with just a joint. Then you go to hard drugs, and soon you find yourself prostituting just to buy a cigarette." Her social media has been silent since 2018. To this day, nobody knows where Duda Santana is or if she's even alive.
Qualquer motivação, amor. Sem brincadeira, sim. Eu só andava com homem. Aí já viu, né?
Here's what's truly shocking. Even UFC champions aren't immune to financial disaster. Tyron Woodley, former welterweight champion who defended his belt 4 times, openly admitted, "I blew through a lot of money. 7 cars, 2 houses, VIP clubs, trips. Everybody ate and I paid the bill every time." When his title reign ended and he faced a 4-fight losing streak, reality hit hard. The championship paychecks stopped coming and his reckless spending caught up with him. But Woodley also raised another critical issue: fighter pay inequality. Despite being a defending champion, he claimed he was earning roughly the same amount as fighters who had never held a title. He felt the UFC undervalued him, and he wasn't afraid to say it publicly. Then there's Jared Cannonier, currently ranked number 3 in the middleweight division. After defeating Kelvin Gastelum, he shocked fans by saying, "I'm broke, so I need to fight." Cannonier broke down his finances. About 60% of each fight check disappeared immediately. Gym fees, management costs, taxes, car payments, 2 home mortgages. What's left barely covers living expenses and his responsibilities as a father. In the past 2 years, he'd only fought twice. When injuries kept him sidelined, his financial problems worsened because fighting is his only source of income. Listen to what he said: "Money doesn't last forever. Fighting is the only thing keeping me financially afloat." This is a top-ranked UFC fighter in 2025, admitting he's 1 injury away from financial crisis. The financial struggles don't end with poor money management. For many fighters, devastating health issues destroy whatever savings they manage to accumulate.
Whoa! Oh, bad! Tory with a left!
When asked where he's making the best adjustments at this point, Tory said,
Oh, he's hurt again. Oh! And finding his way out of there. The Cannonier stalking.
This is what I mean, he's so durable.
Tory is on weak legs. He's got an iron chin, but Cannonier's starting to find them up.
Watch the fingers.
Oh, and another one.
Poke.
Can't believe this fight's supposed to go 5 rounds.
Oh, I hope this is awesome.
Now he kicks him out.
The pressure, look at the pressure. He's heading him off. He's giving no space for Tory.
Mark Coleman, the first ever UFC heavyweight champion and a true pioneer of the sport, became known as the Godfather of Ground and Pound. He dominated both the UFC and Pride organizations, cementing his legacy as an MMA legend. But years of brutal competition left him with serious injuries. In 2013, he underwent hip surgery. During a follow-up operation, a severe infection developed, forcing doctors to remove part of his hip and replace it with a temporary plastic implant that caused constant pain. By age 50, Coleman wasn't just in poor health, he was financially broken. His health insurance was about to expire, and his checking account was completely drained. The only money he earned came from occasional fan events and autograph signings, but his condition made even those difficult to attend. His close friend started a GoFundMe campaign to cover medical expenses. Coleman needed 4 treatments costing $24 per bag, daily. His rehabilitation could last months, and he simply couldn't afford it. Darren Stewart, who retired at just 33 years old, put it bluntly in his emotional farewell post. Despite earning Fight of the Night bonuses and delivering entertaining performances, he was stressing just to keep food on the table. He regretted not finding the financial backing or sponsorship opportunities that some other fighters had. Some fighters' financial problems stem from their own poor decisions and controversies. Mike Perry's story is particularly striking. After earning a $50,000 performance bonus for defeating Danny Roberts, Perry seemed destined for success. But in a deleted Instagram story, he revealed the harsh reality of his finances after fighting Vicente Luque. He made $58,000 for the fight. After $17,000 in taxes, $8,700 for his team's share, and other deductions covering previous tax debt, Perry was left with just $6 in his bank account. $6.
It's like the steam is off Stevens' punches at this point.
Right hand getting through now, the jab, double jab from Stevens. Hard jab right back from Mike Perry. Perry left hook, big left hook again, another right hand. Strong sequence from the half-time plug from Mike Perry. Chip right back from Jeremy Stevens.
Stevens is slowed down.
The UFC pays its fighters, but the gap between the richest and the poorest, it's massive. And some of what you're about to see might shock you. This isn't about hating on the UFC. It's about showing you the reality of what fighters actually earn. So buckle up, because we're about to break down the biggest wealth gap in combat sports.
The fighters need to have a governor body. Like, I think they need a union. The reason why is because when you look at the numbers, the UFC, how much they make, if you paid every single fighter $2 million, how many people are on the roster? Let's just say $1 million, 450 athletes. So you give them a $500 million check. You allocate $500 million just to the athletes a year. So for me, when I started fighting, Matt was always saying, you're going to save your money, save your money, save your money, save your money, start investing your money. That way you don't have to worry about a pension, because they're never going to.
Let's start at the top. These 5 fighters didn't just win belts, they built empires. Coming in at number 5, we have Ronda Rousey with an estimated net worth between $20 and $60 million. Rowdy Ronda wasn't just the UFC's first female bantamweight champion, she was a phenomenon. She defended that title 6 times, headlined the UFC's first ever women's fight, and made the entire world care about women's MMA. But here's where it gets interesting. After retiring from MMA in 2016, Ronda jumped to WWE, won championships there too, and appeared in major Hollywood films like Furious 7 and The Expendables 3. She's been doing seminars, endorsements, and media appearances ever since. That's how you turn athletic success into generational wealth. At number 4, it's the beast incarnate himself, Brock Lesnar. Estimates put his net worth in a similar range as Ronda's, but some sources go even higher due to his WWE mega contract. Before UFC, Brock was an NCAA Division I wrestling champion. He dominated WWE, then shocked the world by becoming UFC heavyweight champion. Even though his MMA career was shorter than others on this list, Lesnar headlined some of the biggest pay-per-view events in UFC history: UFC 100, UFC 116, UFC 200. Then he went back to WWE, where he became one of the highest-paid wrestlers on the planet. Multiple revenue streams. People, that's the blueprint. Number 3 is GSP, Georges St-Pierre, net worth estimated between $30 and $50 million. Many consider him the greatest welterweight of all time. GSP held the UFC welterweight title for years, defended it 9 consecutive times, and won 33 rounds in a row between 2007 and 2011. 33! Then he retired, came back 4 years later, and won the middleweight title too, making him a 2-division champion. After fighting, GSP moved into acting. Remember him in Captain America, The Winter Soldier, plus endorsements, seminars, and media work. The man's legacy speaks for itself.
My morning routine every day.
It folds. I like to see you wiggle, wiggle, for sure. It makes me want to dribble, dribble. You know, riding in my Fiat. You really have to see it. 6'2" in a compact.
Number 2 is the Eagle, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Estimated net worth between 40 million to much higher, depending on the source and his various business ventures. Khabib retired undefeated at 29-0. He was the longest reigning UFC lightweight champion, and his fight against Conor McGregor at UFC 229. That drew 2.4 million pay-per-view buys, the most in MMA history. After retirement, Khabib founded Eagles MMA, started promoting his own fight organization, and became a full-time coach. Forbes even ranked him as the #1 most successful Russian athlete in 2019. Khabib didn't just win fights, he built a brand.
I know. No problem, Khabib. Anytime. No problem. Hey, let's go. See you, brother. Thank you. That's not. Dad.
And at number 1, who else could it be? The notorious Conor McGregor. Estimated net worth? Around $200 million. Conor is the first UFC fighter to hold titles in 2 weight classes simultaneously. He's the biggest pay-per-view draw in MMA history, headlining the 5 highest-selling UFC events ever. But here's the kicker. In 2021, Forbes ranked him as the highest-paid athlete in the world at $180 million that year alone.
The money he made after he fought Floyd, made $100 million fighting Floyd, then came back defending belts, making really good money. He got rich, started his business, sold it for a couple $100 million. When you made it to the top, it's hard to wake up and run those miles when you sleep in silk sheets. That's true, man. That's why guys like John Jones, Khabib, those guys who make it there and have money and have everything and stay there for that long, that's impressive, man.
How? His whiskey brand, Proper Number, 12, endorsement deals. The Floyd Mayweather boxing match that generated over 5 million pay-per-view buys. Conor didn't just fight, he became a global icon. Love him or hate him, the man changed the financial game for fighters. Okay, so those are the millionaires. But now, we're flipping the script. Because for every Conor McGregor, there are dozens of fighters grinding it out for thousands, not millions. Let's talk about the other side of the octagon.
Yeah. Listen, look. I'm a London scammer. Yeah. I see it, I want it, get a nice Nabando Paris whip it.
Now subtract training camps, coaches, nutritionists, travel, medical expenses, and taxes. Some fighters walk away with almost nothing. Let's meet some of them. Sam Hughes. She's fought multiple times in the UFC strawweight division. Early in her UFC career, fighters like Sam were earning that base minimum. Between losses, tight decision wins, and mounting expenses, the profit margins are razor thin. Sam had to balance fighting with the reality that this might not pay all the bills, and she's not alone. Terrence McKinney burst onto the scene with a 7-second knockout at UFC 263, the fastest finish in UFC lightweight history. But even after that viral moment, McKinney was still fighting on the early career pay scale. Yes, he got a bonus that night, but did his base pay for those early fights? Still in the low thousands. He's had ups and downs since then, and building wealth in MMA when you're not a champion is a constant battle.